is week 4 that we're going over tonight. Week 3 was actually appointment setting, which we did an appointment setting boot camp, kind of last minute on Saturday morning. We had about 25 of you guys on. So great job jumping on that, guys. That video will be live. I will put it on YouTube soon. That we're going over tonight. Sorry, I needed to mute YouTube, but we needed to get that all set, guys. Hey, listen, keep yourselves muted, please. Because once I get into the presentation, it's hard for me to unmute it or to mute you guys, excuse me. So let me share this, guys. We're gonna go over just the announcements really quick. While everybody else is getting on, guys, everybody go tag 2 people in the Zoom chat or in the Telegram, excuse me. Go tag 2 people in the Telegram that are not on, that should be on. Go tag them and get them on here, guys. All right, so first and foremost, guys, we have some announcements, and the first one is on April 14th. So not this Friday, but the next, like 2 Fridays from now, there's a Friday Night Live. It's a Zoom call. It's from 7 to 8 o'clock Eastern time. Guys, make sure you guys set that time aside. It's going to be the entire like A&D East Coast, AKA Relentless. If you know what I'm talking about with Relentless, cool. If not, no worries. But it's going to be that entire organization for that Friday Night Live. So make sure you guys set yourselves up to be successful and to be on that. If you are live here in Tampa, we will get together for that in the office. So if y'all want to plan on that, if you're local, we'll get together, we'll hang out, do something, maybe order pizza or something like that. It'll be fun. All right, next, guys, May 6th or May 5th and 6th. May 5th and 6th, we have Tampa Bay Leadership School. Everybody type May 5th and 6th in the Zoom chat. Guys, listen, you should do everything under the sun to try to get to this thing. I don't care what you got going on, reschedule it, move it, shift it, do it a different weekend. I promise you, whatever you're doing will not pay you or will not benefit your life like coming to this will. I promise. I promise you, with the exception of one person who I already spoke to who's going to a wedding for a sibling. Outside of that, guys, what you're doing, I promise, is not going to pay the dividends that coming here will be. Okay, you can do whatever it is you got planned a different time. Get your butts down here, guys. Listen, Taylor and I have sold out to go into every single event that we can or that we need to go to, because we know that is going to not only teach us what we need to learn, we're going to be around people, it's going to stretch our vision, it's going to help us see what we need to see. Guys, these events are very important. The next one after that is June 22nd and 23rd. It's about 6 weeks later, guys. That one's in Michigan. So the first one, May 5th and 6th, is in Lakeland, Florida. You fly into Tampa or Orlando. It's basically right in the middle. And then after that, guys, the other ones are in Sterling Heights, Michigan. That's on June 22nd and 23rd. So make sure you guys are planning on getting up there for that one. If you're in Michigan, you need to get there. Guys, the QR code you see on your screen is for the Tampa Bay Leadership School. Make sure you guys get your tickets for that. It's going to be awesome. You're not going to want to miss it, guys. I promise it's going to be worth coming. And I would really challenge you to look at what you're doing and say, okay, is this going to teach me to be where I want to be? Right? If you're not happy with where you're at, is what you're doing instead of getting down here for that, is it going to pay you dividends over time in what you learn and what you're going to absorb over the course of that weekend, especially if you're just chilling watching Netflix? Okay, so I'm just going to challenge you guys to get your butts down here for that event. It's a big deal. I would not be saying it over and over again if it wasn't a big deal for you to get here. Okay, so all right, listen, guys, what we're going to do, when we're going to get started with this here in just a second. So we're going to get started with our 101 tonight. Make sure you guys get your cameras on, guys. Culture is everything. It's the most important thing on our team, guys, is get your camera on. Be on the meeting like you would want somebody to be on a meeting that you were leading. Okay, show up the way that you would want people to show up. When you have a team, when you have your hierarchy, how are you going to show up for your team? Is your camera going to be on, or are you going to be distracted? All right, guys, so we're going to get into this thing. I'm a little sassy because I know what we're going to give you guys tonight is of massive value. So, guys, we're talking about our concepts and our crusade. I need to move this little Zoom box. Hang on one second. Let me see. Why can't I figure this out? I can never figure out Zoom, guys. This is amazing. All right, so we're talking about our concepts and our crusade, guys. Right is always right. You have to have a fundamental belief in our cause and our crusade. You have to believe in what we're doing on such a high level that all the crap that you hear from the people that care about you, that want you to win, quote unquote, They're going to try to distract you and deter you from building a business. But more importantly, they're going to try to distract you and deter you from doing what is right with your finances, which we're going to go over that tonight, guys. Because if you look at what we do financially for families and how we make a massive, massive, massive difference in people's lives, in their money, you would not, people would be lining up out the door if they knew what you were doing. But the problem is you are not talking to enough people. That is why you're running into the problem you're running into, where you don't have enough people to talk to, right? Just being real. Right is right, guys. Building your finances is like building a house. It's got to be done in the right order. How many of you guys have ever been driving down the street and you're like, that's interesting. They built the roof of the house first before anything else. Has anybody ever seen the roof of a house constructed in the lot with shingles and all before they put up the wall or the foundation or anything else? No, you haven't. That was a stupid question. Look around your house right now. Do you guys see wires and switches and insulation, or do you guys see drywall with paint? And then behind that is what? The wires, the switches, the insulation, stuff like that, right? Guys, you have to do it in order. It's kind of like working out, right? I always pull it back to that, because that was what I did forever. If your diet sucks, it doesn't really matter what you do for a workout. You're not going to get to where you want to be. It's just a fact, right? Guys, you have to understand that you're building your finances, but you're building your financial house, and we got to do it in the right order, right? We have to work in the correct order to get to where we need to be financially long range. Okay. So this is what your financial house looks like. And I'm going to actually change the security so people can just get in here without the waiting room, because that's throwing me off. And then I'm not letting you unmute yourself just because y'all are running wild right now. So anyway, so we got the financial house, guys. This is what it looks like. Like, you have your life insurance first. Why do you have your life insurance first? Because you are the only person, you are the only income producing thing in your life right now, currently, most likely for most of you guys, right? If you don't go to work, your family does not get paid. If you're single, if you don't go to work, your bills don't get paid, your debt doesn't get paid off, etc. Right? Like, you have to go and get a job to pay your bills, correct? So guys, listen, like if the life insurance is the foundation, we have to lay the foundation before we start doing anything else. Guys, my life insurance bill is the first bill. Everybody type first bill. My life insurance is my first bill that I pay every single month. Because I know that if I die, Caleb, my wife's going to get a check for $1.5 million. And then she's going to be okay financially. She's probably better off with me dead right now, financially, just being honest. But right for right now, Larissa, not forever, but for right now. Right. And guys, listen, like, I'm joking when I'm saying that, but I'm serious. Like, if you cannot afford to not go to your job tomorrow, guys, you can't not have life insurance. Okay. Let me say that a little bit of a different way. If you have to clock in tomorrow, like if you must go to work, your family can't afford for you to die yet. Okay. Like, I understand that might be a little bit grim and gruesome. And some of you guys are like, oh, I can't believe you would talk about that. But that's just a fact. If you are married and you have to go to work so you and your spouse can pay your bills, you cannot afford to not have life insurance. You need it. It is the foundation. Guys, in Florida, if your house is not built out of bricks, like when the first hurricane comes by, your house is no longer existing. Like, it's got to be a solid foundation. Those of you in Michigan, most houses have a basement with a concrete base. Yes or no? They pour the foundation first, then they put the house on top of the foundation. Why? Because it needs to be stable and secure. Life insurance ensures that. It ensures, it protects your family in the event of an early death, right? Which we don't want to plan on, but we also don't want to run the risk of that happening, right? So the second thing, guys, is your debt. We need to pay off your debt, guys. And the biggest difference between Dave Ramsey and what we do, we'll talk about in a minute, is that he's beans and rice and beans, like live way below your means, change all your behaviors, etc. And the reality, and those of you that have ever tried to lose weight, you know that changing behavior is freaking hard, right? We are creatures of habit to a 10th degree. Like, y'all wake up and you eat the same crap every morning for breakfast. You eat cereal of some sort, or a bagel, or a donut, or some of you guys go to the same Starbucks and you get the same coffee every time, right? We go the same way to work every day. Why? Because it's a habit that we've formed. We have all these invisible ruts in our life, and it's very hard to get out of those. So why would we try to make you totally derail everything in your life when we could just do a little bit of transfer spending, which we're going to talk about that. Guys, the third thing is saving for retirement and investing and doing the right stuff. And last but not least, guys, it's quality of life. Like some of y'all are trying to go quality of life, then savings, then life insurance, then we're going to pay off our debt. It is not, quality of life is not the foundation. I'm sorry if you're my age or younger, like the world has lied to us and said that it's all sunshine and rainbows and everything's not your fault and you're perfect. No, like that's not the way life works. I'm sorry. You have to be willing to put the work in to get ahead financially, to get ahead physically, to set yourself up and your family up to be where you want to be. That is just a fact. Anybody on here that's a little bit older than me will probably tell you that that is true. Like you have to sacrifice sometimes in your life to get to where you want to go. It's just a fact. Guys, listen, I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, but it's true. Look, we just talked about this order. This is literally, guys, this is how your money is, okay? I'm just being honest with you. Everyone's money looks something like this. You pay your taxes. How many of you guys pay taxes? Just put me in the Zoom chat if you pay taxes. Let's see. If there's not 25 people that say yes right now, I'm calling the police or the IRS, okay? So there's taxes. Y'all got taxes. Some of us have debt, right? I would venture to guess most people on this call or watching have debt. You have insurance, car insurance, homeowners insurance, health insurance, etc., right? You have some type of savings for retirement, a 401k, bonds, whatever it is that you do. And then you have everything else. And inside of that pie of everything else, Caleb, is everything, your cable, your food, your car payment, right? Your electricity, everything. All the things you want to do, every vacation. Right, guys? So if we're working with a limited sized pie, so to speak, and a lot of it is set in stone of how much it's going to pay, we're pulling blood from a rock or water from a rock, so to speak, if we're trying to get people to spend more money on something that they don't already have. Does this make sense? So if you're trying to go to somebody that already can't pay their bills, Caleb, and then you're like, hey, you need to buy life insurance for $300 a month, they're going to look at you like you're a psychopath, right? Because there's no way that it's going to happen. And guys, that's just the reality of life, right? So our business is a transfer spending business. We reallocate and properly use funds to maximize efficiency. Y'all need to write that down. That's big. You're just a transfer spending business. Most adults in the United States of America already use most, if not all, of the services that we have to offer. Right? They have life insurance, they have homeowners insurance, renters insurance, auto insurance, whatever that might be there. They have a will or some type of a prepaid. So a lot of people actually have prepaid legal services or identity theft protection. A lot of them have life insurance, right? Mortgages. Guys, they have 401ks, other investments that they're way overspending on. Guys, look, like the difference between Primerica and any other like direct selling business, if you want to call it that, is this. How many of you guys, just raise your hand if you know anybody that voluntarily walks into Meijer or Kroger or Publix or whatever every month and drops like $180 a month on garbage supplements? Anybody? How many of you guys know people that go into the grocery store every month and or the makeup store or whatever, and they buy way overpriced makeup every month? Right? It's a harder sell to go sell miracle shakes, potions, lotions, all this crap that people can buy, right, from their friends and their other quote unquote at-home businesses. Guys, with life insurance, if we're and I'm going to show you this at the very end, one of the last things I'm going to show you is the difference here. But if we were to take somebody who's spending $300 a month on life insurance right now and cut that price down to $100 a month, are they spending more money or less money per month on their life insurance? If we're taking somebody who's spending $300 and reducing that price down to $100, are we spending more or less? Or are they spending more or less on life insurance? They're spending way less, right? So now they have $200 additional dollars every month, right, Emily? So now they have $200 extra dollars and you're suddenly their best friend, right? Because all of a sudden you found them $200 a month and now they can go and they can do some of the stuff they wanted to do, right, guys? The problem though is that traditional financial institutions sell a product. They don't provide a total solution. We provide a solution, guys. If you look at the way that your money is, right, inside of that pie is where all of your money is at. You're in the middle and your money is being pulled in a million different directions, right? How many of you guys have stuff that you want to do every month that you can't do? because of finances, right? You want to go on a vacation, you want to buy this thing, you want to do this, that, you want to buy a Porsche, like you got all this other crap that you got going on, right? And the reality is our money is going out faster than it's coming in. Most Americans, if you look at the stats, actually, most Americans don't have an income problem. They have a spending problem. And our financial needs analysis shows them where they can uncover the spending problem, guys. It's customized, it's confidential, and it's complimentary. We're never going to sell somebody's information, right? We're just going to show them what we do, teach them how to save, how to protect their income, get out of debt faster, and we're going to teach them to manage their income a little bit better. And the best part about this, guys, it's free. If you could show somebody in 30 minutes how to retire earlier with less taxes, having way more money in retirement, having actual control over their money, and it was free, if they knew what it would do for them, they should be lined up at your front door, just knocking that sucker down from the time you wake up until the time you go to bed. Right, guys? But the problem is our industry is a bunch of snakes. Y'all know what I'm talking about with these whole life and IULs and the crap that we've been going over the last couple of weeks in the morning, guys. People are getting robbed of their hard-earned money that they already don't have enough of, right? And guys, you got to understand that this is what we're protecting them. Tax refunds, guys. How many of you guys have a tax refund? If you're comfortable, I just want you to drop in the Zoom chat. How much money on average do you get in your tax return? Nobody on YouTube is going to be able to see this. It's just for the group. My wife and I, typically when we get a tax return, if we get one, which hasn't been a long time since we got one, but usually we'll get a couple grand. Okay, so guys, listen. Y'all understand what a tax refund is, right? It is a interest-free loan to the government. You are overpaying your taxes. The government uses your money, right? The government uses your money, and then they give it back to you with no interest. Guys, that makes no sense to me, right? If I had a choice, I would want to have all of my money in my pocket, pay all of my other stuff first, Larissa, all my business expenses, all my insurances, all my payroll, all my investments that I can, do everything that I possibly can, pay my phone bill, my truck bill, my rent, everything else. Then with what's left, I'll pay my taxes. Why? Because a lot of the things that you guys do, and I'm not a CPA, this is not tax advice, but guys, the reality is you own your business. Y'all are 1099 independent contractors, right? That's an amazing thing for tax purposes. Why? Because you see all of your money. You understand, if you're getting a W-2, you do not see all of your money ever. You massively, massively overpay on taxes, and the government gives you back a little bit of money. Guys, I don't know one person that's wealthy that pays or that gets a tax refund, excuse me. I don't know one person that's like wealthy by definition of being wealthy, that is a wealthy person who pays their taxes in advance and then gets a refund. It doesn't happen. They maximize the tax code, right? And they do that. And guys, look, if someone's paying $3,000 a month, or sorry, if someone's getting back $3,000 a year on their tax return, 2021, right? 2021 taxes filed in 2022, the average return was $3,039. Okay. So we're just going to call that $3,000. We're going to call that $250 a month. Caleb, what I'm showing you right here is if you knocked back your taxes in your payroll at your job, if you said, hey, fix it in your taxes so you're not paying as much and you're getting an additional $250 up front on your paycheck, watch this. You take that money, where does it go? Well, you put some of it towards your life insurance, you put some of it towards your debt, and you put some of it towards your investments. That is millions of dollars over the course of your lifetime, depending on your age. Right, guys, it's crazy, but they won't tell you this. Why? Because the government wants to use your money without taxes. Or without interest, excuse me. Because if you invest in a bond, you're giving the government your money, but they're paying you back what, guys? Put it in the Zoom chat if you know. Interest. Right? That is a loan to the government. They pay you back. It's pretty secure. What? Yeah, like guys, like Taylor's over here. Like, is this coming together? Like, is this making sense? Like, are you guys understanding right now, like some of the things that you could maybe change in your finances that might make a big difference over time? Like, Larissa, I'm going to like not pick on you, but kind of pick on you for a second, because we did your FNA, right? And it made a big difference. And it gave you a lot of hope for where you could go financially and how you still might should be able to retire well. But Larissa, watch, if you went and you looked at your tax returns from the last couple of years, and if you got a return and you divided that number by 12, and you decreased with your new job that you're probably going to get, right? If you decrease your claiming, right, on what you're putting into your taxes, and you got that in your paycheck every month, and then you invested that, that's crazy, because you're not going to owe money later because you're getting a refund. That means they owe you money, right? Guys, listen, like this, if I'm telling you, like some of you guys you're sitting in the back with your camera off, the phone's on the other side of the room, you can barely hear me right now. I'm telling you, you are costing yourself millions over the course of your lifetime by not listening right now. Like, guys, it's for real. Because if you just take your tax return and you divide it by 12 and you decrease that on your withholdings and you invest that, guys, you're still not going to owe taxes because you overpaid on it. So you're not going to get it back from the government, but you're also not going to give it to them. Okay. How many of you guys remember what you got, when you got your tax return 7 years ago, what you purchased with that? Anybody? Like, oh yeah, I got a tattoo and a jet ski that broke 3 weeks later, right? like good. That's a great financial investment. I got a puppy. Awesome. Guys, look, like the reality is that money is going to be much better served invested. And I know I'm getting a little bit fired up tonight, but guys, it's for good reason. Like this crap is not taught to you in school, right? Like I did not learn this not one time. I spent 12 whole years in school, and I dropped out of college after 1 year. Larissa, by the grace of God, I graduated high school, right? But the reality is, guys, they don't teach you this. They don't. Guys, how do you get out of debt faster? If you have debt, just don't raise your hand, please. I'm not asking you to raise your hand and like incriminate yourself, right? I have debt too, but I'm not asking you to tell me if you have debt. I'm just asking you to take note of this. Guys, take all your debts, stack them up with the way the FNA tells you to do it, and pay it off. Okay. When you pay off when you pay off your retail card, guess what you don't go do? You don't go buy a new Xbox on a credit card. That's stupid. Okay. You take the $100 a month that you were paying on your debt and you just roll that sucker down into the next credit card. That's it. That's the secret sauce, right? Then what do? When you pay off the second credit card, you take that extra $220 and you roll that down into the third credit card. Now you're paying more than double per month on that credit card. And you have $355 on what should be a $135 payment. You're going to knock that thing out real quick. You add the $335 to your car payment. You're doubling almost 2.5 times on your car payment. That payment's going to get paid off way quicker. And then you go and you're almost doubling your mortgage payment. And you're making your mortgage company real upset because you're paying this thing off. They're basically giving you a free house. Not really, but you know what I mean. They're like an interest-free house is what I'm trying to say. Sorry. And guys, this is massive. Look at this. Like, this is not one of my clients, but I have 3 or 4 like this that I could show you. Guys, look, the current payments, if you're looking on the left-hand side, this family was not going to be out of debt until September of 2115. They were going to be 129 years old. Just type me in the Zoom chat real quick if you know anyone that lived to 129 years old. I will wait. So essentially what's happening is the credit companies, the companies that are giving you money with an interest rate are putting you in debt for life. Okay, let me say that again. The companies that are loaning you money are putting you in debt, AKA in actual like financial jail for the rest of your life, unless you take control of it. Guys, Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman both say that debt is the #1 leading cause of financial troubles. Guys, if you just debt stacked to meet their goal with no extra money, right? With no extra money on the right-hand side, if they took that, it's going to take them until they are 32 and 31. Guys, that is almost 100 years faster. It's 96 years faster. Almost 97 years. You think we could all agree, that's a lifetime faster, right? Guys, if you debt stacked with them, they're going to get out of debt a year earlier almost. Well, I guess 3 months earlier, okay? Not that big of a deal, not that big of a difference, but it still is awesome. There's only $5,000 of interest, Caleb, if they stack their debt. If they don't stack their debt and all they do is pay the minimums, it's 90 grand in interest. Guys, like, If you're getting value in this right now, please just type value in the Zoom chat. Some of y'all look like you're at a funeral right now. Guys, like I'm telling you, like this will change your life. All right, so what do we do then? Once the debt is paid off, Larissa, right? Once we have our $1,400 paid off, what do we do with it? We split it up between our investments and our life insurance. We can bump our life insurance up to the amount that we should be, which with term is not going to cost you very much at all, right? Then you take the rest of it and you invest that money, guys, and you get to your retirement number infinitely faster. Guys, like I wish that you guys could like see it from my perspective, like, because if you just did this, if you just were convinced and convicted like I am that what we do is right, when someone texted you and said, I've been thinking, right, I don't think it's for me, oh, I don't want to meet with you, like I don't think it's worth it, you would die on the freaking hill to get that person to sit down with you guys. I've told you guys this before, and I don't know if she's on or not, I can't see who the participants are. I have two sisters, both of which, one of them has listened to me twice. She sat down with me once when I was in training. The guy that trained me didn't do a great job on that appointment. It wasn't Andy. And then the second time I met with her a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like begging her to do the business. Why, Larissa? Because I see what this is, right? And it's like, okay, maybe it's not, maybe I don't love it. That's awesome. You don't need to love what works. You need to do what works, right? Like I don't love paying my credit card bill every month. I don't love paying rent, but I have to. Why? Because it does what I need it to do. Is this making sense, guys? Look, like you got to understand that the quality of life is the roof of the house. It's the last thing you put on your financial house. If you could get into a vehicle, Caleb, that built your savings and your debt, got you out of debt and covered your life insurance, if you could build that house 10 years faster by getting into a different vehicle, would you do it? You would be silly not to, right? And I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm just, guys, like we're just over here like, I don't know, my brother said he's busy next week, so he can't meet with me. Like, I guess this isn't for me. What? Like, are you hearing what you're saying to you? Do you understand this, guys? This is crazy because this business, this company, guys, will absolutely transform your life, your finances, guys. Like when you do what we say, it makes a big difference. I'm telling you from experience. If you don't do what we say, it doesn't make a big difference. If you do it, it makes a big difference. We've actually been doing it the last 6 months and it's changing. Like our finances are exploding right now. Income's going up. We're paying stuff off. Like it's awesome, guys. But you don't get to jump right to number 4. We tried to jump to number 4, right? Like we did. We tried to jump straight to quality of life. Bad idea. Don't do that. Guys, you got to build it. You got to build it in order. Guys, you have the wrong type of life insurance, right? So the theory of decreasing responsibility tells us that in the early years, you need a lot more coverage, right? You're not going to have as much money saved up. Right now, maybe this looks like you a little bit, maybe not, but you have young kids, high debt. You got a mortgage or you're looking to buy a house. Your kids are younger, right? And in that period of time, your need for life insurance is higher. Why? Because if you die or your spouse passes away, the kids still need an income. They still got to eat food, right? Like your spouse still has to pay the bills. So we need to have life insurance in place because we don't currently have our investments built up to where we can pull money out and have it not affect our plan. A loss of income on the left-hand side would be absolutely devastating, right? Because Caleb, here's the question. Here's the question that I always ask people. Hey, look, like I know you might think you don't need life insurance, but if you pass away and you no longer work, what's going to happen to your family? Who's going to feed the kids? Who's going to pay the bills? When was the last time any of you guys heard of somebody getting a check in the mail from Verizon Wireless? You've been a trusty customer for the last 12 years. Thank you so much. I heard your wife passed away. Here's a $1.5 million check so you can pay all your bills. We want to take care of your mortgage for you. Make sure you guys have food on the table. No, what do? They send you your damn bill for your phone, right? They do. You can't get out of, you understand that you can't get out of a phone contract for an iPhone without a death statement from Verizon Wireless. You understand that? Like, it's the craziest thing. It is the craziest thing to me, guys. But we won't pay, we'll pay phone insurance, but we won't pay life insurance. The one thing that's going to pay for everything else, we're worried about it. Guys, when you get older, you're going to have money saved up, right? It says you better have money, right? You better have money saved up or you're not retiring. right? In the later years, you're not going to need as much life insurance. Why? Because your kids are grown, you're of lower debt, your mortgage is paid off or almost paid off. You need retirement income, not life insurance. Does this make sense? We switch somewhere in the middle. There's that magic number, Emily, somewhere in there. And I don't know what that is. Everybody's number is a little different where those paths cross, right? And now I don't need life insurance anymore. I have investments. And if you want to keep life insurance, great. If not, that's fine because you followed the plan and you got to where you need to be. Guys, look at this. It's a $500,000 whole life insurance policy. Okay. This is from trustedchoice.com. You can go and search average costs of different types of life insurance. The average cost will differ when any of the variables change. We're assuming here that they're all is the same between everyone on here, guys. And the average cost for $500,000 of life insurance is for a 20-year-old male, $195 a month. For a 20-year-old female, $167 a month. If you are in your 20s right now in Primerica right now currently, and you have a life insurance policy with Primerica Financial Services, I want you to hit the raise hand button real quick on your little Zoom box real fast if you can. Yeah, I did. I said if you're in your 20s, Elian BL. Elian, I'm unmuting you. Unmute yourself, sir.
All right, am I muted?
Yeah, I don't know where you went, but how much life insurance do you have right now?
500,000.
How much do you pay and how old are you?
26 and I pay 54.
All right, guys, just real quick, throw it in the Zoom chat for me. Thank you, Ellie, and you can mute yourself back. Put it in the Zoom chat real fast. Is $56 a month more or less than 195? Less. Guys, what's he able to do with that extra $130 a month? What should he be doing with that extra $138 a month? He should be investing it, right, guys? That is what we're teaching people here. You understand that, right? Look, it's crazy. When someone's 65 years old, if they wanted $500,000 of life insurance, it's $1,394 a month for a male. For a female, it's $1,149. If they smoke, it's like infinitely more. It's basically double. Guys, like we're covering them at a time that makes sense for them to be covered when it's cheaper, and that price never changes. Guys, there's an amazing video on an index universal life insurance policy. Y'all should have watched it. If you didn't, I'll throw it in the Zoom chat or in the Telegram later. Sorry. Where they explain how the infinite banking thing works. Guys, if in an IUL policy, and this is a little bit off script here, what I was talking about, but in an index universal life insurance policy, if the rate of return is 0 one time over the course of that contract, just once, that contract, the hypotheticals can go straight in the dumpster fire. It's out the window. It does not matter because the fees eat the principal, which throws the whole thing off. Guys, but they sell it to you on you can't lose money. But you can. Guys, the stock market over the last 30 years, if you look, there's been 16 or 17 years that it's been up. There's been 13 or 14 years that it's been down, but it's netted an average of 10.75% on the S&P 500. So in an index universal life insurance policy, you're guaranteed to pay fees out the you-know-what. And on top of that, if it hits 0 once, guys, 13 or 14 times out of 30, it's been below 0. It's been negative. If it hits 0 one time or worse, Elian, out the window. That policy self-destructs. And that family that just put 40 grand into that policy, that's your neighbor, has no money left. Why? Because you didn't talk to them about this. Because you didn't show them that Primerica does what's right every single time. Guys, we teach them the right way to buy life insurance to avoid debt, save their money, and have the quality of life that we want. Guys, I think if we're all honest, we all want to have a good quality of life, right? Like, don't sit on the Zoom call right now and lie to me and tell me you don't want to have a nice car and a nice house and take vacations and not have to worry about what you order at the restaurant. And you don't want to have to check your bank account before you go to the gas station. Every single one of you guys wants all of those basic things, I'm sure. You have to do it in order. You have to do it in order. You cannot skip it. Jenna, you can't skip the cake baking order, right? Like, you've got to follow the process. but we try to skip it, guys. If you save the family $250 a month on their life insurance, which I've done that multiple times, I've probably at this point, I bet 50 to 100 times in 2 years, and they took that and they invested it for 35 years, Angie, for 35 years, they invested this money at $250 a month, an 11% rate of return. Mutual funds average just over 11%. Okay, so we're saying 11%. That's just below the average. That's $1.1 million based off the savings that you made for that family. 1.1 million. That's a comma. There's 2 commas in there for those of you guys that are hard of seeing, right? Or your camera's off here on the other side of the house. $1.1 million difference that you made in the life of that family. Oh, but Dan, I just don't want to bother my brother to help me out with my training appointments. You are not bothering anybody. Get that crap out of your mind. You're bothering them if you're trying to sell them Tupperware containers, okay? I'm just being real with you for a second. Like, you're not bothering them by showing them how to retire earlier. Listen, if somebody's going to be mad at me because I showed them how to make more money, retire earlier, get out of debt faster, live a better quality of life, have more money per month, pay less money in taxes, and they're going to be mad at me, God bless their soul. Like, I'm just being honest. I have a clean conscience, John, because what we do is right all the time. We take care of our clients and we teach them what the financial concepts we're going over right now. We teach this to them in 2 or 3 meetings, break it down on a fundamental level and explain it to them and answer their questions. And we take the time to go through this, guys. Listen, if you don't have 100 grand in your bank right now, most investment companies aren't even going to so much as look at you. Guys, we will sit with you for a $25 a month pack, right? A $25 a month investment. We're going to sit down with you and we're going to educate you on how your money works. We're going to teach you on how to build wealth, how to retire earlier. Guys, this is what we do for people, right? Like, and there's nowhere else in the world that somebody's going to do that for them. But guys, we will do it for them. What we do makes $1 million difference, guys. And there's no additional cost, right? We're maximizing their money. Like, y'all can see why people need this, right? But we're afraid to go talk to them because we don't want to bother them. Guys, look, like, you're potentially costing them money by not sharing it. So I'm not saying that you are, you know what I mean? That was a bad way to say that. You aren't costing them money. You're not a bill. But if you're not going to tell somebody this because you are uncomfortable of, you don't want them to be mad at you. Like, guys, I'm just going to be honest with you for a second. I'm done my slideshow. So I'm just going to be honest with you all for a second. Look, if someone's going to be mad at you for showing them what we just talked about, you need a new circle of friends anyway. Can I just be real? Can I just be transparent with you for a minute? Like, if someone's going to be mad at you because you showed them how to save $100 a month and retire with $1 million in their bank, like, that is not a circle that I personally want to be around. And I'm not saying to, like, disown all your friends, right? I'm not saying, like, disown everybody, go live on an island, though sometimes that might not be a bad idea. But what I am saying is, like, just get out there, go talk to humans. It's crazy, guys. This business is not hard. We make it hard. We get in our own way. We put up all these invisible barriers. It's like, oh, I don't know if this person's going to bother me. So let me just, or this person's going to think I'm bothering them. Let me build a giant wall that I now have to climb over. What, like, that doesn't make any sense. If you're running a 100-yard dash, like, and you had the option to put hurdles in front or to not put hurdles in front of you, you would not pick the hurdles. So why are we putting them there? Right? Why are we causing the problem? Why are we the ones that are making people object to us because we don't know our stuff, right? And again, I'll own it. For up until about 3 weeks ago, there wasn't a whole lot of teaching going on. But over the last 3 weeks, I've gone on YouTube, go search my name on YouTube. Everything you know to make 100 grand a year is on that YouTube channel right now in the last 2 to 3 weeks. Everything that I've taught you, I did to make 100 grand a year. I did not have my investment license. I did not do a single FNA. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I did not do a single in-depth FNA, Cassie. I know you love them, but they're great. They're great tools. But I didn't. Like, I knew buy term and invest the difference, and that's what I did. Buy term, invest the difference. It's a replacement spend. That's all I was doing. That's all I was doing. I've not had one client that I did that with. Buy term and get them with Brittany to invest the difference that has called me and said, Dan, I'm so mad. I have more money saved. I have more life insurance. I've not one. Not one. But you know what I have had, Caleb, is somebody that I didn't close on a life insurance policy call me 2 months later and say, hey, my husband passed away from COVID. Is there anything we can do with that life insurance policy we were looking at to get that enforced? I will tell you right now, that was the hardest phone call I've ever answered. I didn't even know this person outside of a field training appointment. I met with them for like 35 minutes, Angie. And I didn't want to bother them by asking one more time to close the policy. And the dude passed away. Obviously, that's outside of my control and whatever, but like to know that I sat on that appointment and didn't close it, just to this day, it burns my butt. Like it just makes me so frustrated. Like what could I have said better? What could I have done different? And the reality is, Kelly, maybe nothing, right? But it's still to me, I was like, man, like, what if I would have overcame that objection one more time? Right. And so guys, like my point to everything tonight is like, you all see like where we make a huge difference, right? Like you see how big this could be for somebody if they follow what we teach them. So here's what you need to do. If you, how many of you guys just raise your hand? Most of you guys have your cameras on. Thank you guys. There's 31 cameras on, or 31 people on, and at least 25 cameras on. I appreciate you guys. That's awesome. Guys, raise your hand real quick, just physically like this. Don't hit the raise hand button. If you have already done your financial needs analysis or set up your own personal plan via investments in life insurance with Primerica, not with a different company, just raise your hand real quick so everybody can see. Participation is key here. About half of you guys haven't done that yet. Guys, look, you need to do that. And I don't necessarily care. And I'm gonna just say this like in the nicest way possible. I don't care if you buy it or if you invest or if you follow the debt thing, but the reality is you should. It's math, right? Like if you had to get an 80% to pass your exam to graduate from college or high school or whatever to get through your, if you had to get a 72 to pass your life insurance exam there, that's relevant to everybody. So if you had to get a 72 to pass your life insurance exam, you're going to do whatever you need to do to get a 72, right? If you know you need $1.3 million to retire, we're going to show you how to get $1.3 million to retire. You should do it. Okay, I'm just, what?
Nothing.
I'm being judged by the peanut gallery over here. But guys, look, like, I'm telling you guys, like, don't not do this because don't not set up an FNA with your trainer because you're like, oh, I don't want to buy life insurance. Just meet with them so they can show you what we do. So you can have the conviction that I have, guys, because I was paying $225 a month for a cash value policy that my best friend sold to me. And I actually just ran into one of his policies the other day with Amber. And he is the agent on this policy. He sold this family a 10-year term insurance policy that is only convertible to whole life. Guys, like, I was so mad. We switched. My wife and I were paying $82 a month for $1 million on me, 1.5 on, or sorry, 0.5 on my wife, 25,000 on the kids. Before we had only coverage on me for $250,000. We got 6 times face value, covered my wife and my kids for $82, or sorry, it was $83 or $84 a month. I can go look it up if you want me to, but it was right in that $85 range. We took the difference and started investing it, guys. And then that's how we paid for our truck. Like a few months later, the down payment for the vehicle that we had to get, guys, like, but I'm telling you, like, it makes a difference. And when you see it yourself, it becomes real. Because right now it's like pie in the sky. Like, this sounds good. Like, the concepts make sense, whatever. But you can't, like, math is math. Like, I don't care what school your kids go to and they tell you 2 + 2 is 5 if they want it to be. It's not. 2 + 2 is always 4. Like, and if you're trying to figure out how to get 3 with 2 and 2, it doesn't work. You need to follow the plan. Let us put the plan in place for you and show you how this works for you guys. And then, guys, here's the thing. It's month end. Like, we have 24 more hours left. I guess a little more than that, like 36-ish hours until month end. And some of you guys, like Bree, you're really close to division leader. Josh Gillespie, super close to regional leader. Like, y'all should be fighting your butts off to get these promotions. Like, I'm telling you guys, listen, like Cassie keeps saying, get our diamond done in the next 24 hours. Like, that basically means we need to make 70 grand in the next 24 hours. That'd be crazy. But yeah, and like Taylor just said, if we just said your name, if I just said, like, you don't know what you need to get promoted, you should text your trainer, hey, what do I need to get promoted? You got 24 hours to do it. For a lot of you guys, it's like one life app or one recruit. That's it. And you're promoted and you're done. And it's it. and you're forever going to get paid more money for the rest of your life. Guys, I love this team. I'm super passionate about this because this changed our life. Guys, I hope you guys got value in the call tonight. I'm going to end the YouTube